Oh look, another egotistical asshole who shoves his opinion down everyone's throat without a shred of actual research to back up his points and needless repetition. And this guy's not talking about wrestling, at least not in this video, so the entire IWC might not hate me for pointing out what he's done wrong. Woo! Everyone, meet Corey Margera. He calls himself a literal taste god. Well, that's all the context I need, but I guess you guys need a little bit more. This video is over a month old, and there have been one or two things that have come out about this situation since then. Not a whole lot, mind you, but just one or two things that are relevant. I'm not going to bring these up, and I did write this script a while back. I only did a few edits to make it make a little bit more sense. So, that being said, let's get started. Alright, I think that's pretty much all the intro that I need to play for you guys. This goes on for an entire minute. Now, it'd be one thing if there was a lot to the intro, crediting a bunch of people, timing clips very intricately and the like. I still might be making recommendations for you to shorten it, but it wouldn't be so bad. But here, you have literally two credits to give. Good Taste Productions, which is pretentious as hell, and The Corey Margera Show. That's it. And your clips aren't synced up to the music very well. You basically just played them and let the music play too. On top of that, the music is pretty much a loop after the 32-second mark, so it's not like you needed the whole time for the purposes of the music like my original intro did, before I determined that I could just slice that in half. If it were long and entertaining, I'd at least give it half of a pass, but no, it's just long.
So the rumors are that the PS4 will soon be able to be backwards compatible with the PS2.
Really? Because the two videos you cite later as having watched, without providing links in the description, thanks for that, debunk that rumor. They say that Sony's working on emulation for the PS2 on the PS4. This will allow either reselling of digital copies or allowing you to put in your disc and play that emulation, not play the game straight off the disc.
All I can say is, holy fucking shit. It literally took this long.
You know, let's forget the fact that Sony doesn't have to work on backwards compatibility, especially considering the fact that their competitors are just now introducing it. And yeah, I know the point is that it should have already been there. I know the point is that he's pissed about that. But that's a dumb point when you don't at least show some kind of gratitude that you might be able to play your older games on your shiny new system.
2 years for us to finally, and it's still not even going to be backwards compatible. This is still just a rumor in the air. This is still just an announcement.
Actually, if it were an announcement, it wouldn't be a rumor. Also, if the rumor is it's going to be backwards compatible, how does that translate to it's not going to be backwards compatible? Yeah, I know. The point of your statement is that we don't even have any confirmation, but the way you worded it implies that the rumor is somehow already proven to be false, which it technically is according to your sources, but you should either be telling us why the rumor is unfounded or not be covering it at all.
In all honesty, Sony, you're fucking stupid. Alright? You're fucking stupid. I think you're a great console manufacturer, but you are fucking stupid.
Yeah, Sony, I think you do this thing that requires a large amount of technical knowledge and innovation really well, but you're stupid because of your lack of technical knowledge and innovation. Do you see how that doesn't make any fucking sense?
Why in the fuck is it taking this long just to get backwards compatible?
Well, not to cut you off, but you were about to change topics at the drop of a hat, something you tend to do a lot, and I can actually explain why they took so long to get backwards compatibility. See, there's two ways of doing backwards compatibility. Put the hardware into the system or emulation. I'll bring up emulation elsewhere, but let's look at the implementation of hardware. I'll provide a link in the description to a news report that explains the complexities of backwards compatibility today. To be frank about it, it's the fact that the technology is more complex than it was then, making implementing the hardware more expensive than just chucking an extra set of cheap parts into the system. Also, you know what wasn't an issue with consoles during even the PS2 era, and is literally as soon as a single generation later? Overheating. Old consoles were hot, but the newer components cannot be made with this heat in mind without having far too high of a power output and, once again, costing more money to keep cool.
The PS4 has been out for 2 years, and you have a severe gaming drought.
Which is a gaming drought the entire game industry is going through, by your logic, since PS4 has more games on it than any other current system outside of the PC and maybe the Wii U, but we'll get there later.
You have no killer app this holiday season. None.
And the other two systems have one killer app apiece. Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Nintendo Wii U, if you're into JRPGs that is, and Halo 5, if you're into shooters. I know, majority of people are into shooters, not the point. This would be a good point for you to make, if not for the fact that you're making it the year a Fallout game came out. Are you aware of how big Bethesda games actually are? They warp the entire industry around them when they come out. Don't believe me? Look at most sales for non-Fallout games over the past month.
There's nothing exclusive that Sony has right now. They have no Halo. They have no Super Smash Brothers. They don't have anything that's like, oh my god, a must have.
And since Smash came out last year, I'm going to have to assume that you're now talking about over the entire life of the system. So let's see, good exclusives for the PS4. Uncharted, Disgaea 5, Until Dawn, Bloodborne, 2 Infamous games, and Killzone Shadowfall. Other than Disgaea 5, which I think should be getting more credit but falls in a similar category to Xenoblade Chronicles X, all these others were huge over the life of the PS4. By the way, I'm aware of what he says about Uncharted later, but don't worry, we'll get there.
Knowing damn fucking well the PS2 is one of the best consoles of all time. It has an amazing library of games. And you were not smart enough to have backwards compatibility with at least the PS2.
Considering the backlash they got for how expensive the PS3 with backwards compatibility was, thus required them to make a cheaper version that removed the backwards compatibility and sold better? Nah, that's stupid. Why would they prevent that sort of backlash?
I could see the PS3 because, again, the way the PS3 was designed was completely with the cell processor.
Says he understands why a company went one generation back. Doesn't understand why they had trouble going 2 generations back. 10 out of 10, flawless logic. Okay, granted, he does say the PS3 is hard to code for. Maybe he feels the PS2 was easy to...
But the PS2 wasn't the easiest thing to develop for either. That's what a lot of people forget.
He seriously just forced me to use a media clip. Kill me now.
To me, I don't look at the PS4. I don't think it's going to have the success of the PS2.
That's like saying the PS4 isn't going to sell as much as the original Wii. Of course it's fucking not. You're comparing a console in a currently lackluster console generation to one of the highest sold systems of all time. It's not going to compare positively.
But I could be wrong. We could start getting better third-party support.
You mean like Street Fighter 5 or Shenmue 3? Why, the only thing that'd be sweeter than those is a new Ratchet and Clank game or The Last Guardian. What's that? PS4 is the only console getting all of those? Well, fuck me running!
And I love the PS4. I love it. I think it's a great console. Don't get me wrong. But it's lacking in fucking games.
Okay, even removing all of my examples of games that the PS4 has, if it's lacking in games, why do you love it and think it's going to win this console generation? As though that fucking matters. The only way it could is if it's system that has the most game, which, re-including my examples once again, the Wii U still has more.
You basically took a shit on a lot of really great franchises that people loved, and you're overrating franchises that people don't really give a shit about, like Uncharted.
The Nathan Drake collection had fewer sales because of strong competition and the fact that it was a re-release of 3 older games, and it still managed to be the number 8 highest selling game the week it came out. I'd say that qualifies as people caring about the franchise.
You know, instead of bringing back Siphon Filter, Twisted Metal, Resistance, God of War, you know, I mean, Sony, you're fucking up.
Okay, let me just point out why all of these ideas are awful. Last Siphon Filter game, even not counting the shitty PSP ones, it bombed. It sold terribly. Twisted Metal got a new game in 2002. It was a piece of shit. It was universally panned. Resistance? Oh, you would have a very good point there, if not for the fact that the developers don't currently want to make those games. So if Sony did make them do it, then it wouldn't be as good as you probably want it to be. God of War? Story's fucking over, dude. You should have bought Heavenly Sword while you had a chance to make the spiritual successor succeed. And in an example of franchises people care about getting new games, once again I bring up Shenmue 3 and Ratchet & Clank.
There are people who are modding and fucking hacking PS2 games as we speak. Alright, on their fucking emulators on their computers.
Take it away, Alpha.
PlayStation 2 emulation is something that the whole entire emulation community has been working on for years upon years now. And while it's really good, it's far from perfect. There's plenty of compatibility issues, and my god, just sometimes the glitches and the graphical hiccups and all sorts of fuck-ups that occur in them, even if you have a top-of-the-line gaming PC and then try to go and run these, it's only so much that can be done because, well, the sad truth of the matter is that some of them look like shit.
Yes, I'm aware Alpha Omega Sin's point was that the graphics needed to be upscaled for these games in order to look good on a PS4. Think about this. If there are compatibility issues and glitches with PS2 emulation on an easy-to-code platform like the PC, then how the fuck is the PS4 gonna have it any easier? Oh, what? Because they already have the source code? Guess what? When the hackers grabbed the source code out of the game, when they found a way to pull that source code out of those games, they had it too. Huh. And they still can't fucking figure it out. Probably indicates that it's difficult.
There are so many games. I have so many PS2 games. I know some of them were re-released again. I know, like, HD collections of a lot of my favorite games were released. But I'm not going to fucking buy HD collection on games I already fucking own. I already own Devil May Cry. I already own Devil May Cry 3, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. You know, I already own Kingdom Hearts, God of War 1 and 2. You know, fucking Capcom vs. SNK 2. You know, Resident Evil 4. I already own these fucking games for the PS2.
Although the fact that you already own these games and want to be able to play them on the current system is a good part of your point, none of these games were remastered for the PS4. The ones that were remastered for the PS3. Hell, you go on to mention a couple of games that haven't been re-released at all and have no reason to be. Not to mention the fact that some HD re-releases do actually add things to the original that technological limitations originally prevented from being implemented, and the fact that 2 of the games you're listing right now weren't even originally released on the PS2. Going back to the killer apps, I can add all the games that are also on the PS3 to this list of games that debunk your point about the PS4, and anything that was a timed exclusive from another console I can also go ahead and add. Hell, why don't I just also add some timed exclusives that Sony has?
Unless you're making like a Quake 3 Arena HD collection, like a Quake HD collection, which is something like literally that I really want to play upscaled, you know, or a Half-Life HD collection or something like that. I really don't give a fuck. I'm sick of all these HD remakes. I'm like, I already own these games.
Okay, by that logic, why should they make Half-Life HD collection or Quake 3 HD collection? Nearly every PC gamer on the planet already owns these games, so why should they rebuy them? Just because some people don't want something doesn't mean that no one wants it. Hell, I could play another Alpha Omega Sin clip right now to disprove you. In fact, yeah, I'll just let him do the commentary. Fuck it, I'm going to get pizza rolls.
For anybody out there that's one of those people who's like, I didn't buy a new console to play old games, then don't fucking play them. I don't know what else to fucking tell somebody that says asinine, stupid shit like that. You're like several steps back. Like, oh man, are they giving us more options? Well, I fucking hate that. Something that's optional that you have a problem with makes you a fucking idiot. Demanding less when somebody's trying to give you more, something that you're not interested in, doesn't mean shit to all the people that are interested in it.
You know what's even more optional than the backwards compatibility both of you are talking about? HD collections! Hell, he even brings up that a big part of the reason Sony should do this is because not everyone has the original hardware, like you do.
Granted, I own Quake 3 as well for the Dreamcast, but honestly, I wouldn't mind playing it on the PS4 more than the Dreamcast because I know the controls would be much better.
I know a system where the controls are pretty decent for Quake 3.
Quake 1, 2, and 3, I want to see those games remastered, in HD. That would be cool. For people who aren't PC gamers, who don't have the mod set up and the graphics and all that shit. That's something that I want to see, come to consoles.
Oh, okay, good. You don't bring up normal fallacies about console gaming. I can address this without repeating every single video on a console gamer ever then. Good. First of all, about the mods. You don't have to play most of these games with mods. I do play Skyrim with mods from time to time, but I also play it unmodded. Why? Because I don't fucking have to play it with mods. It's optional! On top of that, this option would likely not even be available to you on the PS4. Now, in terms of the graphics card, look, I do not have a dedicated graphics card on this laptop that I'm recording this commentary on right now. And guess what? I can still play the majority of video games on a setting comparable to what you would find on a current generation console. And since you've decided the games on PC don't count against Sony's exclusives, here's an even bigger list of killer apps. I'm done with this. Look, Corey, I'm not faulting your intent with this video. I get what you're actually trying to say. Widespread compatibility with PS2 games, and yeah, PS1 games for that matter, that would be nice, would increase system sales. It would influence parents to buy the system for their kids, as the library of games would be in the thousands. Many of them very inexpensive to own. It would give more options to the consumer. But you missed the mark on how you executed your points. You effectively insulted the system you claim to love by refusing to acknowledge the games it has simply because the games you want them to care about aren't on it. But you're not the only PlayStation fan. You effectively said that gamers having the option to buy a game on a digital storefront is bad simply because of the fact that you already own the game and you don't want to buy that game on the digital storefront. But some people do want that. And most importantly, you refuse to acknowledge the mere existence of technical limitations that your own sources, mind you, bring up. Hell, they don't even call what Sony actually said they were working on a rumor. I'm convinced that you just read the names of the videos and decided you know everything about what's going on. I normally end these videos with some kind of advice, so here you go. You're not the only person that exists in this world. It's fine if you don't want something, or if you think it should be done in a certain way. That's fine. You're allowed to have an opinion about that, but at least try to figure out why it wasn't done the way you want before you call a company stupid for not giving you everything your way. With that said, that's all I got for this time, you guys. I know there was a little bit of a gap between this and my last one, but hopefully I'll be able to stabilize all of that nonsense. Until next time, this is your friendly neighborhood Boonslayer, signing out.